Yo, what is up, everybody? We're back. We're here right before the semifinals. They start in about 1 hour. Going to be looking at France versus Spain, England versus Argentina. But first, I wanted to kind of recap the quarterfinals. I know we were super hyped for them. We've been super hyped this whole time. And the World Cup is not disappointing. I know I've probably said that every single video, but it's our first time watching the World Cup, and I'll tell you, it has been absolute cinema. It's been great. So firstly, let's talk about last week, or in the last few days rather. France beat Morocco. We kind of expected that to happen, but Morocco, I think for a lot of people that maybe don't know the soccer world, unexpectedly strong team. But Morocco is probably one of the stronger African nation teams. And they only got beat 2-0. It wasn't like a total blowout or anything like that, and I don't think you guys should be expecting to see blowouts at this stage. Argentina getting 3-1 over Switzerland was actually surprising. But they were beat. They go home. I think here in 4 years we're probably going to see some things out of Morocco. Belgium also very strong team. Kind of surprised me when I started watching soccer a couple years ago. I didn't think Belgium had that great of players, but I think as a team they come together well, and they're very, very strong. They got a couple big names, but that doesn't take you to championships. You gotta have a good team that plays well together. We'll talk about that here in a second. Norway versus England. This was the match everyone was looking forward to. Holland versus Harry Kane, and it ended up being the Jude Bellingham show. They were tied. They went into added extra time. Holland came out. I don't know if he was injured or just burnt out. Like it was a lot. But in extra time, at the first half of extra time, I think they pulled Holland out. Jude Bellingham scored a second goal, and that sealed the victory for them. Did not go to penalties, obviously. And then Argentina came through and beat Switzerland, and we didn't think Switzerland was going to make it very far. I think maybe they had an easy path. I don't even remember who they played before that. Yeah, they played Colombia, and actually went 0-0 to penalties. So you can't play like that and then come in and expect to beat the title holders for the World Cup, right? So, moving on to this week's match, or I guess rather today's matches. We've got France and Spain today at noon, and then tomorrow we'll have England versus Argentina. Number one, France and Spain have some history playing each other, and we're talking Kylian Mbappe is the big star, obviously, but they've got other big guys: Dembele, Michael Olise, Bradley Barcola, Rabiot. Great defenders. They've got Koundé, they've got Tchouaméni, who's kind of a defensive midfielder. Great players. They come together as a team, and they're very pragmatic and practical. They have a mentality that is like, here are the things we need to do to win, and they're also basically PSG, if we're being honest. Like PSG has won 2 European championships in a row. They made it to the Club World Cup final last year. A bunch of their players are on this team, and that's where they stand. Now, Spain has obviously Lamine Yamal, and people say, oh, he's just hyped. He's a young player that's super hyped up and blah, blah, blah. But every year he continues to prove himself a little more. And then they've got the old guard here, Mikel Oyarzabal, right? He is their goal scoring powerhouse. He's been scoring a ton of goals. Yamal draws a lot of defenders, but he also knows how to assist. I think he had a lot of good mentors on Barcelona, and this team is also basically Barcelona. There's a lot of players on this team that are from Barcelona, and they also have good defenders, right? They've got Cucurella, they've got Kubarsi, they've got all these other players here that are used to playing on the biggest stages. Rodri with Man City. But like I said, they're mostly Barcelona, and Barcelona, they did not go far in the Champions League. And I think that's because some of these teams have their number. They know how to defend against some of these players. So I think France might also be in that group. And we can see here, France defenders are not focusing on one player in particular. That is clearly a shot at Lamine Yamal. They're not worried about him, basically. And I think he is good, but I think they know how to handle him. And there's been a number of times that Lamine Yamal has gone up against Mbappe, and Mbappe has burned him. Lamine Yamal, famously not very good at defending right now. He is good at attacking, very good. You need to pay attention, and he can easily burn a couple defenders. Maybe not quite on the Messi level yet, but he's still young. And then as far as that goes, Kylian Mbappe is in the prime of his career right now. He's got many good years left on that career, and he's already won a World Cup, so there's a little bit less pressure on it for him. Obviously they want to win this for their country. Let's see, when was the last 5 matchups? So last year in the semifinals of the Nations League, Spain beat France 5-4. And then in 2024, the European Championship semifinals, which is the Euros, right? They beat them 2-1. Prior to that, 2020, 2021 UEFA Nations League final, France beat Spain 2-1. So, they've kind of gone back and forth, but the last 2 times they faced each other in a big stage, notably both times semifinals, just like this, Spain beat them. However, though Lamine Yamal has gotten better since then, I think Spain's a little bit more cohesive than they were. Their coach came out and straight up said, this France team is not the same team that they faced in the last couple years. And that France team was largely the same team that was in the last World Cup against Messi and Argentina, right? It really just depends on how the chips fall and what matches they end up in. But these matches here were their last big ones, and Spain did win. I think a lot of people expect Spain to do good things, but even just looking at the odds sheets and the bet numbers and stuff, France is still having a little bit of an edge over them. I think this is gonna be a great match today. I love both those players. I love Lamine. I love Kylian Mbappe and many of the players on both their teams. I was struggling to see who I should support today. At the end of the day, it was what jersey do I have that's clean, and I happen to have 2 Kylian Mbappe jerseys that were clean. So that's who we're supporting today. But of course, we're not going to be upset if Lamine does well. Really, at the end of the day, what's going to be great for this tournament is having a great final. So I want the best team to go forward, and I want the best team to go against whoever we see out of Argentina and England, which will definitely be Messi. So anyway, Rodri joking about Lamine Yamal being 19. I believe he just turned 19. He's absolutely fantastic. He's doing great things. His first time playing against France, he was 16 years old. So, there's that. Lamine, super confident. He says, if anybody can stop France, it's us. And I will tell you, when you see interviews about Lamine Yamal, or with Lamine Yamal rather, he treats it like a video game. He's out there having fun. And I think that is one of the best ways to do it. There's a time to be serious, obviously. There's a time to let a little bit of pressure push you. But when you're out there on the field, I think that's not it. That's probably the time to be having fun, and I think you play a lot better. When you let the pressure push you, that's when you're preparing, right? Now you're in the game. You can't prepare anymore while you're in the game. You might be able to make a couple small changes here and there, but for the most part, you're in the game and you use the tools that you've developed, and I think Lamine does that very well. Where, like I said, Kylian Mbappe is very cool and collected. I hope this match isn't mired in any kind of controversy. That's all. Yeah, that's it. I mean, they've got a lot of great players. I think we're going to see a good match there. The bigger conversation has been around this England-Argentina. And I had a little video here of Mbappe real quick. like passing up on Lamine Yamal. Lamine tries to get him. Again, I told you he's bad at defending. He almost trips him right there. Here he's trying to get away from him. Kylian megging him. I mean, like, obviously these are just clips and stuff, but Kylian Mbappe is a little bit bigger, stronger, maybe not faster, but once Kylian gets away with the ball, he's just gone. So yeah, I think obviously they're not going to meet too many times on the field, but when it does happen, I think Mbappe is going to come out on top on that end. So England versus Argentina, totally mired in controversy. Actually want to talk about this. So this guy just died a couple days ago. I mean, 3 or 4 days ago. This is Antonio Ratin. 1966. They were playing against each other at Wembley in England. Now, the referees were told, because they were supposed to be from Uruguay, were told to go with Argentina on the plane to like save money or something. Back then there wasn't like infinity flights and stuff, and that way they could save money or whatever. And basically over in England, where the World Cup was happening, they did the draw without them and decided the refs and all that stuff back then, and made a German ref, which I think there was some controversy between like Uruguay and a German ref, like slightly before that, maybe a month or two or a couple weeks or something before that. Anyway, there was this whole weird controversy where it was very clear that there was some bullshit going on with FIFA. I know today they're constantly like a lot of conspiracy theories and stuff like that, and there's a reason for it. Is because there's a history of FIFA doing shady stuff. I think that situation would be a lot harder to pull off today, but back then, you know, news traveled a little slower and all kinds of weird stuff happened. But Argentina showed up and they said, "Oh, well, you guys were late, so we did the draw without you," and you know, it was already set up to be a mess, right? So now you have a German referee against two teams that don't speak the same language as them. But you know, it's very possible that he did speak some English or something. Anyway, World Cup's happening in England. They're playing against England. The Queen's going to be there. Crazy, right? The captain, the number 10 for Argentina, didn't get in an argument with the ref, and I saw some video of this. He mostly just was telling him, "Hey, dude, I'm the captain. Can we get an interpreter over here to like find out why you're making these calls the way that you are?" He basically gave a foul, and gave a free kick, obviously, to England. And Argentina, this guy in particular, was like, "Hey, man, I didn't do any kind of crazy foul. What's going on here? I want to know. Can you get a translator over here? You know, whatever." And the ref basically was like, "Oh, he's arguing with me." They don't even speak each other's language. Like, he'd have to like spit on him or like hit him or something to like make him understand like what's going on there. There was nothing. But anyway, he gave him what was the equivalent of a red card at the time. There were not red cards at the time. Essentially, he put his hand up and he said, "Hey, man, you're out." So, what ends up happening is the guy refuses to leave the field. They have to take him off with police officers. They remove him from the field, and he kind of like grabs the corner flag, which was an England flag. There was a little England flag used as a corner flag, and he just grabbed it, lightly touched it. He didn't yank on it or anything. I mean, a lot of guys would have probably pulled that thing down. I've seen guys pull a corner flag out and stuff, but he just grabbed it. He was like irritated a little bit. It was super like non-committal, like he wasn't doing anything crazy. So that's what leads me to believe that he was actually not arguing with the ref. Like, I know a lot of times after the fact people go, "Oh, I wasn't arguing with him, I was doing this or that," but that's not what happened. So he does this thing and grabs the flag, and then like England fans go nuts. They're throwing full ass beer cans at him. It was crazy. So in protest, he sat on a red carpet that was meant for Queen Elizabeth only. He just went and just sat on the carpet, and you know, that caused a whole thing. Anyway, from that incident, red and yellow cards were born. So you can thank Mr. Ratin here, and hopefully he rests in peace. He died at 89 years old, just I want to say 3 or 4 days ago. So um, one of the first incidents there, like I said, 1966, and then you had this here, the Hand of God. If you guys have heard of the Hand of God, like me, you may have thought that there was just like basically God reached down and touched Diego Maradona and allowed him to make this insane goal that like defied physics. That's what I thought initially. But actually what it was this. He put his hand up near his head and he did a header. Now Diego Maradona was a little bit shorter guy and obviously shorter than this goalkeeper here. And his hand's already in the air. The goalkeeper's like outstretched. As it got closer to his head, he kind of like touched it. And yeah, after the game, they asked him, dude, how did you score that amazing header? And he said, oh, sometimes it's skill and sometimes the hand of God reaches down, and kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing. Anyway, very controversial thing, and Argentina ends up beating England on that. And then we had this. We had the red card versus Beckham. So Beckham gets fouled here, and he is kind of like laying on the ground, and it didn't show it there, but the guy reaches down to like tussle his hair. Like, it's a very young Beckham. He's like, hey, little guy, how are you? Are you okay? I'm sorry, I fouled you. And Beckham like lifts his leg like at the knee as he's on the ground, right? Lifts his leg at the knee and hits this guy. So then Beckham gets a red card. You can see right here. He hits his leg, and the ref says that is retaliation. He retaliated against him for the foul. So the other guy got a yellow card for the foul, and then Beckham got a straight red. This leads to like England just totally losing their mind on Beckham, right? There was I think some headlines about like the actions of one stupid boy. England goes on to lose this 1998 World Cup match against Argentina, I believe in penalties. But everyone was pissed at him. And Argentina at this point like just hates England. Like, they have this history, hate them. It's crazy. It's a big deal. Anyway, Beckham gets sent off, and he goes through years of controversy and hatred and just general negative public sentiment. Then you get down here 4 years later, the next World Cup. Beckham gets his revenge against a defender named Mauricio Pochettino, the coach of the United States team. He's defending, the goal. Mauricio Pochettino, obviously Argentinian, and causes a foul against David Beckham, which then gives him a penalty kick. And this is Beckham's chance to like redeem himself, and he does it. And they obviously moved on to go further in that World Cup there. Ended up beating Argentina. So tons of different controversy. I mean, there's been military conflicts between the two countries. It somehow always becomes political, the soccer matches between these two. Yes, Hand of God. England can't focus on Messi, so another thing about the defenders, like focusing on one player. But here's the thing, they kind of have to. You can't just leave him. You've got to have at least 2 guys paying attention to him all the time, and 3 guys ready to defend him. And even then, sometimes that's not enough. Bellingham. Bellingham's just good, man. He has shown up. He plays different when he plays for England than he does for Real Madrid. And I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. Harry Kane's been scoring goals. It's been great for him too. We'll see where they come out here. But it's very difficult for Argentina to cover 2 separate players. A lot easier than it is for England to cover just Messi, though. I think people get lulled into a sense of complacency and they don't pay attention to Messi just for, if it's 15 seconds, it's too long. Yeah. So here we are. Last few times that these guys have gone against each other. Last time was 2005 in an international friendly. I would never use the term friendly for these two teams going against each other, but England beat them by 1. 2002 World Cup was, dude, Messi wasn't even playing the last time. England has never gone against Messi. Look at this. England's never gone against Messi, guys. 2002 World Cup group stage. There's that match. That is the match where the penalty was won. So these guys have not played each other very much. A lot of time you see friendlies against the teams, but they have not. And then there's 98. Before that, the next time they played each other was 98, and they ended up, like I said, Argentina won on penalties. Because Beckham, well, I mean, not probably because Beckham was out, but I think they probably would have scored more goals had Beckham been in, and they may have not gone to penalties. World Cup Mexico, 1986, Hand of God. These teams only play each other when it's controversial. Before that, it was the 1966 game. All these games that we have talked about were their last games that they played against each other, with the exception of this 2005. And the thing that makes that game notable is that Messi, I don't believe, would have been in that game. He might have. It was end of 2005. His first World Cup was 2006. Is there any record of this? Crespo, Rooney, Samuel, Owen, Michael Owen. Was Messi in this game? Starters. I don't see Messi on this. Riquelme, Zanetti, Ayala, Tevez. Messi was not in this game, guys. Yeah. So there you have that. The next time they would play, I mean, they wouldn't play each other, but the next time that these teams would have been playing, because this would have been just before the 2006 World Cup, would have been the summer of 2006. And in this game, Lampard, Beckham, Rooney, Owen, Ferdinand, Barry, a lot of good players, but no Messi. No Messi. He showed up in the World Cup, and I don't think he played a lot. I know there was a World Cup where he didn't score goals, and I think that might have been it. So there we are. I don't know what you guys think. We'll take a quick look at our bracket here and see if we are where we thought we would be. So green is for yes. So we thought France would make it, and we thought France would be going against Spain, and that is happening. And we thought England would make it, and we thought Argentina would make it, and they would be going against each other. And we have 100% bracket right now. We have 100% bracket. The first time that this has happened. The final, I mean, we can either get 100% or 50%, right? I guess we could get a 0% if neither Spain nor Argentina make it. If England makes it and France make it, it's England versus France in the final. Wow, guys, I don't know. But we are sitting here right now, currently at 100%, because those 4 teams were who we predicted to make it to the semifinals. And let's do a little percent there. Yeah, that makes more sense, right? Anyway, that's what we got. And I think it's gonna be a good match. I hope you guys are ready. I hope you guys are in it. It's gonna happen here soon, and we do have more World Cup boxes coming. That Prism set has been really good to us, but also there were other formats that we wanted to check out. I do have Dick's Sporting Goods Mega Box, I think, coming at some point when those get released. I think those get released in a few days, and we'll probably match that up with another Mega Box and maybe do a box battle type thing. Yeah, dude, that England squad was beast. I didn't see you in here, man. But dude, we both got Kylian Mbappe jerseys on today. I think France is gonna take it, man. I think France is gonna take it. They're just really good. They are really good, and they have their heads on their shoulders. But I don't know. Like I said, France is basically PSG, and Spain is basically Barcelona. And so far PSG has been beating Barcelona in their international competition. So we'll see. We'll see how it ends up. We do like it though. I think we got some great semifinals this year. I was just telling the chat and stuff, telling stream that I don't want any of these matches to end up mired in controversy, but they will. Like at least one of them, something stupid's going to happen. There's going to be a ref call. There's going to be I don't know, something dumb like a delayed game, and they're going to blame FIFA or something for the weather. Something dumb will happen for sure, but a lot of history behind these matches. This is probably one of my favorite one of these videos to make. I gotta say this one was definitely fun. A lot of cool stuff to talk about. But we are ready for the match. It's coming up in 25 minutes. I'm gonna upload this to the YouTube, and I will catch you guys after the match. It's gonna be free penalty for Argentina. Get out, dude. You're already starting it. All right, guys. We'll see you later.